there's like pressure that like you have to be Beyonce or Rihanna or something. But it's like if you have people that listen to your music, you have something. And there's going to be a lot of things around you that are it's going to say that that's not enough, but it is. If I asked you to be brave, that means you'd have to face a fear, cuz like bravery doesn't exist like in the lack of fear, in the absence of fear. It's harder for good music to get out because like there's like an oversaturation in the industry. Some of the best vocalists, you know, of my time at least, like didn't get their just due because of what they looked like. Society tells women, but especially black women, that like if they fail to be beautiful, then that is unforgivable. London is the mama and America is the baby, and there's like a lot of similarities.
You say London's the mama and America's the baby. Is that what you said?
That's another problem with me. I'm that friend. I'd be like, you know, this land is stolen, right? I'm that one.
SK Vibemaker.
SK Vibemaker. My interviews are hotter. You know we bring through the best special guests. We are not changing tradition anytime soon. Today we have Brooklyn Queens in the building.
Hi.
Via Barbados. You know what I'm saying? Yaya Bey is here. How you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah, a bit jet lagged. Bit cold, not feeling the weather too much. I thought the amount of times you come to the UK, you'd be used to this weather by now.
I'll never be used to the cold.
You never get used to it.
No.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, the last few years, you've been steadily ascending. A lot of people have started to pay attention to you. I think it's been, you know, a great time. You're an artist that a lot of people are watching. For those that don't know, give them a brief into the musical journey of Yaya Bey so far.
A brief into the musical journey. I've been writing songs for a long time, and I just do the best I can.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talk to me about some of the influences then.
Mary J. Blige. Frankie Beverly is like my favorite musician of all time. I don't know, a lot of like R&B and hip hop. I'm from New York, so like, you know, Faith Evans, Kelly Price, Donny Hathaway, like a lot of soul music, R&B, hip hop, soca. Like, you know, I grew up with my aunties like playing a lot of soca music. That's it.
How would you compare Yaya Bey on the mic and in the studio and the performer versus Yaya Bey that's at home and that's with her friends?
I think I'm the same everywhere I go. I struggle with that sometimes because like sometimes I feel like pressure to like be something sometimes, or maybe I feel like people expect that, like like I'm here to meet Yaya Bey, and I'm like I'm here. But I'm the same everywhere I go. Yeah.
So you're saying that sometimes you feel pressure to live up to this like sort of, I don't know, stereotype of an artist,
or people expect that, like they expect me to have like a big personality, or I don't know, like a something. Like sometimes I feel like I go in a room and like I fall short of some expectation, but I'm like, hey girl, I'm doing my best.
I think it's what people love about you, the vulnerability, the honesty. Do you know what I'm saying? Well, there's so many artists that I meet and that I interview, and I'm like, is that the same person? Like, do you know what I'm saying? I mean, it can be a good and a bad thing sometimes, but I think what people love about you is that, you know, such naturalness, honesty, vulnerability. People that see your interviews, go to your shows, get to see you speak, they notice that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You kind of feel, do you feel a little bit home here? Like the amount of times you've been here, do you feel?
Do I feel at home here? I feel used to it. Like when I go on a long tour and I come like to like Europe, which I don't understand, like, cause sometimes people, like, I'll be in London and people will be like, oh, if you going to Europe, and I'm like, ain't this Europe? A little bit, right?
Not a little bit. This is definitely Europe.
Oh yeah. I'm like, that kind of be throwing me off. But like when I go to other places, if I'm on a long tour, like say I'm here for a month and I go to Copenhagen, Sweden, and I usually have to come back and forth through London.
Straight.
When I go other places, I feel a little more relief when I come back to London. Because, like, London is like America. Well, America is like London because London is the older thing. Like, London is the mama and America is the baby. And there's, like, a lot of similarities.
You say London's the mama and America's the baby. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I like to hear you say that, but I feel like a lot of Americans would say it the other way around. But I appreciate that, though.
I mean, all them people over there, the people that colonize America are the British.
So you're taking it to a deeper level.
I'm always taking it to a deeper level.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another problem with me. I'm that friend. I'd be like, this land is stolen, right? I'm that one.
So let me talk about this song, Wake Up. If you want to be brave, first you got to be afraid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just saying for the clean version of the title, it's Wake Up B, Wake Up Chick. And we're focusing on the line, if you want to be brave, first you got to be afraid. Just break down that line for everyone if they need a little, translation.
Well, I mean, okay, like, if I asked you to be brave, like, that means you'd have to face a fear. Because, like, bravery doesn't exist, like, in the lack of fear, in the absence of fear. Like, you have to be afraid of something to face it, to muster up courage. And, the album is called Do It Afraid. So I'm addressing that, I guess, at the very beginning of the album. Because it's the first song on the album, yeah.
I like that, Do It Afraid. To all those who relish a challenge. Do you relish a challenge?
Relish? No, I think I'm currently in a challenging place in life. Like, this album campaign is dragging me through the dirt. It's dog walking me. I don't know that I'm relishing it as much as I'm facing it. I do think that I'm seeing some reward from it, in that I'm learning. But I would be lying if I said I was enjoying it. I feel like sometimes I'm like, God, I am not your strongest soldier. Like, you have me confused on the roll call, but
you're probably stronger than you think.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, bleeds through the music. Do you know what I'm saying? So I want to talk about another line, man. Well, it's just a short line. Confessions of a Real Chick. I have to say, like, the clean version. You say that on Wake Up. I mean, one of the things that I like very much about you, amongst many things, is the raw, unfiltered bluntness. You know what I'm saying? You don't get that from every artist. And the honesty as well, because sometimes you get some bluntness and rawness, but it's not necessarily the honesty. Now, where does that come from? You know what I'm saying? I mean, is it from your environment that you grew up in? Is it from your parents? Like, what made that so much a part of your character and as you as an artist?
I think I just want to be happy, and I want to be able to live with myself. I probably have OCD. I mean, I have OCD. And, like, not like how people be like, oh, I didn't clean this thing, like obsessive compulsive thoughts. Like, and so things will haunt me if I go somewhere and I feel like I was being fake. I will go home and overthink it. I'm gonna go home and overthink everything anyway, but, like, I can find some resolve if I felt like I was being sincere. Especially because, like,
you feel like you gotta get off your chest.
Yeah, and I'm long-winded. I'm long-winded, and I'm the person that's gonna say this thing like, oh, we didn't want to go there with it, and so I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna overthink all of that. But if I feel like I was honest, if I feel like I was kind, and I feel like, but that was the truth, I could live with it.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Wake Up Chick, the clean version of the song title, has you in your rap bag. And I just want to make a note, like, I noticed that you can rap and sing to a comparable, you know, both of them ability. Do you know what I mean? A dual ability. How much of a challenge is it to be able to both rap and sing to that high quality? Because many have tried, but many have failed.
Singing is probably the harder thing, but I don't consider myself. I'm a songwriter. Like, I don't necessarily consider myself a rapper. I can sing, but I don't even. Sometimes I don't necessarily even feel like a singer. I just am trying to accomplish the song, and whatever the song requires, like, I'll find a way to do it. But I'm just I'm a songwriter. Is it a challenge? The writing is not a challenge. The performing is it's a challenge. Like now after I've written this, like when I wrote "Wake Up," I was like, oh, now I gotta go to the studio and like execute this, and that was hard. So I guess like the performing is hard. Yeah.
Break down the to me the underrated ability to be a songwriter, a performer, a rapper, a vocalist, a singer, and a producer, because you make beats as well, you know what I'm saying? So talk to me about that underrated ability to do all of those things, because not many artists do all of those things.
Well, I don't, I wouldn't necessarily call myself a producer. I think, when I did,
Well, you're producing songs, you're producing your songs.
Yeah, but it's like, I'm using like samples and packs and like, because my dad.
Listen, if a lot of artists, a lot of producers didn't sample, they wouldn't be here. Some of the greatest producers sampled.
Yeah, okay, but when I did like Remember Your North Star, I was like programming drums and like, because I had to. I don't think that I enjoy that. I don't have a passion for it. Like I just want to write the song. But I also find that like I don't have a passion for like many of the things that my career requires. I only like to write the songs.
Okay. Wow.
Like,
so if that's
and
the
I like
case,
to make the album.
you could have just been a songwriter then, but we would have missed Yaya Bey.
But I tried to be
Just a songwriter.
And every time it didn't work out. And so then I had to inch my way into performing, because I want to write the songs and I want the songs to come out.
Mm-hmm.
And at first I was like, oh, other people can sing the songs, but it didn't work out that way. And so then I had to sing the songs to get the songs out. And it's been like a journey and like learning my way through that. Mm-hmm. But like the fun part of it is writing the song. And I do like to go to the studio now. When I first started going to the studio, I was like, this is hell. Can I say hell?
You can say hell.
Okay. Yeah, this is hell. I hate this.
All right. Aside from you downplaying your ability to do things, yeah, talk to me, maybe subjectively, maybe not about yourself, about the underrated ability to do all of those things and be a performer, be a producer, be a songwriter, a singer, a rapper, all of those things together. An artist that could do all of those things.
It is a lot of hard work. And like, I have friends who think I don't have a job. Like, I do. I have friends that think I don't have a job. And family members too. I actually won't specify with that. But like one time I played a show in New Orleans and I was on the phone with a family member, and like I had rehearsal days and then I had like the show and I had a free day, right? And so I was on the phone with a family member and I was like, yeah, I don't have to work today. And they like laughed and was like, work? Like, you called it work? I was like, it's work. So
An example of it being underappreciated, undervalued, underrated.
Yeah. So I think like, I think people think that like you're just like playing dress up all day, and because like you show people music videos and you've got all makeup on and stuff, and like I think people just think it's like, oh, you travel a lot, so that you're just like on a constant vacation and you're playing dress up. You're like a little Barbie doll or something. Like, I'm like, no, baby, I'm burnt out. I'm washed, actually.
What's your take on the current state of R&B?
What's my take on the current state of R&B? I think honestly, people are making good music. I think, um, I think people are making good music. I think that it's harder for good music to get out because like there's like an oversaturation in the industry. I think like the internet clearly like democratized the music industry and like that part was good, but now like there's so much going on. And I think because people often complain like R&B is dead, but it's not. It's just like you have to go digging for the music. Where before, when like record labels controlled who got out there, you were like being spoon fed this person, that person. But now there's like so many R&B artists, and a lot of them aren't mainstream. But I think that there's a lot of good R&B out right now.
This is the thing, man. If you want to find the good music, you can dig for it, man. There's good music out there. Some people are lazy and they just want to be fed by the music. But it begs the question about, for me, which I've been asking a lot of artists recently, about the correlation between good music and the numbers. Do you know what I mean? Do you feel like all good music does numbers? Like, some people be kind of trying to convince you that the songs with the high numbers, whether it's the record label, the managers, the PR, the streaming platforms, that the songs with the biggest numbers are the best thing since sliced bread, and the songs maybe without the numbers aren't as good. What's your take on the correlation between good music and the numbers?
I think that there's someone that no one's ever heard of that's probably making the best music ever. Like numbers is there are a lot of things contribute to numbers that aren't just about music. Like there are a lot of artists that I won't get into names. I don't think that's appropriate, but there are a lot of artists who like don't necessarily fit a certain beauty standard that is like made up, that like some of the best vocalists of my time at least like didn't get their just due because of what they looked like. And then there's some people that like, this is not particularly my cup of tea, but the numbers are really high. So I think that we're shallow and we aren't judging people a lot of times by like the music alone. And so there's that. And then there's also like people have machines behind them that are driving those numbers, and some people don't. So you can't pay attention to that. You just gotta listen with your ears,
You just spoke about beauty standards. I feel like, unfortunately for female artists, a lot of them are put under a certain pressure which the male counterparts aren't put under. And I feel like that's bad B culture. You know what I mean? To live up to be a bad B, to maybe, have certain body shapes, and often the pressures to have body surgery. Have you felt any of those pressures, or have you seen any of your peers feel any of those pressures, and how have you dealt with them, and how do you talk to people about them?
Pressure to have body surgery? No.
Live up to bad B culture or anything like that?
But I mean, I think society tells women, but especially black women, that like if they fail to be beautiful, then that is unforgivable. And so that I have to like deprogram myself. I think like in my real life, I feel safe in that way, and maybe that's just like in recent times. But in like being an artist, sometimes I'm like, oh, someone might look at that, but I don't know that I feel pressure to change myself as much as sometimes I feel fear of being bullied. I went through that yesterday, to be honest. Like, I'm putting a music video out today, and I saw it for the first time on a big screen, and it like zoomed in on my face, and like my like makeup is like uneven, and I was just like, I felt that fear of like judgment, because like there is that, like, if you fail to be this, you are unforgivable. But I worked through it. And I know that it's like, it's not how I feel about myself. It's more me just wanting to protect myself from what other people might think about me. Because I mean, the reality is, like, no matter how much you love yourself, people don't treat you how you feel about you. They treat you how they feel about you. And then, like, people are like, oh, women are judged so harshly for wanting to be, change their bodies or change their face. But it's like, women are just trying to protect themselves from harsh judgment or from cruelty. Really, people are trying to protect themselves from cruelty. I'm lucky enough that, like, in my personal life, people love me, and I'm safe in that way. But when I'm platformed, the thoughts do cross my mind. Maybe not to change myself, but like, oh, what cruelty might come my way from this, that, or third.
Let's talk about newer music, Merlot and Grigio. I mean, it's definitely got that Caribbean influence, that Caribbean flavor.
Yeah.
Some people know that you have Bayesian heritage. I mean, your family's from Barbados. Talk to me. Are you a fan of the Caribbean music? Like, you listen to some reggae, some dancehall, some soca, calypso, all of that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm from New York, so like, even if my family wasn't from Barbados, like, that is such a prevalent sound. And then, I grew up on soca and like reggae and dance hall, and like, there's a part called Roy Wilkins, that like I went to my first like teenage dance parties, and like a lot of it is like, okay, whatever dance hall record is out at the time, and learning all the dances, and so yeah.
You're a dancer like that because, I mean, you said pull up. What did you say? You said, baby, come catch this wine. You said, baby, come catch this wine. That's what you said on Merlot and Grigio. What's your wine game like?
It's okay.
Yeah. I mean, you said, baby, come catch this wine. And we ain't talking about alcohol. To all those who know about wine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm West Indian. Yeah.
Straight. So who's your dancehall artist that you listen to?
You know what? Okay, so everybody love World Boss. I mean, me too, but I like Movado.
Oh yeah. I mean, no one forced you to say that.
I like Movado.
Okay.
Is that bad?
Nah, that's fine.
I
That's
do.
fine.
I mean, I do.
You're on the gully side.
I like okay, like, I like vibes too. But I like Movado.
Straight up.
I like Movado.
So you got a super Movado playlist that you be.
A super Movado playlist? I wouldn't say a super Movado playlist. I would just say, like, that's where I'm going to. That's where I'm going. Yeah.
Straight
But
up.
shout out World Boss too. Like, I like vibes, but
What's your go-to Movado song?
I'm so special. I'm so special, so special, so special. That's why I stay with the 45 special. Yeah.
That's what it is. When it comes on in a dance, you turn gunman.
Yeah.
Gun finger.
Yeah.
Straight up. I love it.
Yeah.
Now, I was very happy and excited to be having this conversation with you today. I recognize your talent, and I hope more and more people get to recognize your talent. But I wanted to ask you, the last few years, you've definitely been in your ascent and getting more love than you was getting before. What's some of the biggest hurdles that you faced and you feel like new artists face in trying to make an impact in the game, and what advice do you have for artists that are coming up after you?
I would say there's going to be times where you feel discouraged. Like, even, like in this album campaign, there's days I wake up and I'm like, I don't know, girl. This may not happen for you, because the thing is, like, once you have a certain level of success, the expectation is that you grow, and it might not happen overnight, especially now with the industry's oversaturated. So I put out an album, Remember Your North Star 2022, and that was like a breakthrough moment for me. And I put another album out that wasn't a break. I didn't break through another level. You know, it was just continuing on the journey,
Yeah.
and there was a lot of pressure from, you know, my last situation. Like, okay, you were supposed to be a superstar after that, you know. And so like now in this album campaign, I still feel the lingering pressure from the last campaign, and so there's some days where I'm like, I don't know what the goalpost is. But when you have those moments, don't run from the discomfort of like being afraid you don't know what's gonna happen. Just every day lay a brick, one brick, one brick, one brick, and like you just show up, you do your best, and you lay your brick for the day, and then go to sleep. You can't. There's nothing you can do in your sleep. Just wake up the next day, lay the next brick. Like I would say, do that because that's all you can do. Because you know what? And another thing, the state of the industry right now, no one can tell you what's gonna work. Not the agents, not the labels, not the managers, the DSPs. Nobody knows what, like, we're in unprecedented times.
They're just gonna be lazy and say you gotta get this popping on TikTok.
Or they just don't know. Like the DSP, like things that, like my last campaign, like, this was working for DSPs. It is like literally not what's working right now on DSPs. Like nothing. There's no, everything is moving so fast and people have access to so many things that nobody knows.
There's no formula.
So it's just like every day you just get up and you lay your brick. You just get up and lay your brick and then see what happens from there.
Build that fan base and keep it stepping.
Yeah, and then I think also be satisfied with what's for you. Because I think that there's like pressure that like you have to be Beyonce or Rihanna or something. But it's like if you have people that listen to your music, you have something. And there's going to be a lot of things around you that it's going to say that that's not enough. But it is. And really what you're trying to do is just find more people that like you. So you just, like I said, you just lay your brick. You do your best. Yeah.
So we got the new project, Do It Afraid. I say project these days because I don't know if an artist is going to tell me this is my EP, this is my mixtape, this is my album.
It's an album.
It's an album.
I make albums.
You make albums.
I make albums. I don't beat around the bush. It's an album.
When you say beat around the bush, do you feel like some artists are maybe a bit scared to say this is my album?
I think one or two things are happening. Three things are happening. One, some people are afraid to call it an album because with an album comes a certain level of pressure. Like, now that I've like been around the block, like I know like the press is gonna write up, but that's when you're gonna get the most press. They're not gonna give you a lot of press for an EP unless you're like coming from a major label or a very established artist. Like the biggest moment is gonna be for the album. So people, if they don't feel strong about the album, even if it is an album, they're gonna call it an EP. Another thing is that there's a certain level of like bragging rights you get when you're like, oh yeah, I'm such and such numbers are really high and I don't even have an album out. But it's like you do have an album out. Or another thing that's happening is like, say you sign to a label and the label is like, you got a 3-album deal. You can't get out of this until you give them the 3 albums. The EP don't count towards the album. So it could be that they're scared, they're trying to brag, or the label is jerking them around.
Ooh.
Yeah. But I put...
You put an album.
This is an album.
Everything's an album.
It's an album. Unless, like, I do have some EPs, but an EP is less than 7 songs.
Of course.
Yeah.
Do It Afraid is the new album. It's an album. So if someone hasn't heard the album yet, what should they expect from the album?
There's a lot of different sounds. I like to play with sounds. I feel like you can hear the diaspora on there. Like, I feel really passionate about that, like, especially since I've been traveling and like meeting different people from the diaspora. You know, we're having a lot of diaspora wars on the internet, which is really unnecessary. But I'm a multi-ethnic Black person in the sense that like one side of my family is from Barbados, one side of my family is Black American, and I feel really inspired by that. And like, you know, you do your history about Barbados. A lot of the people that were enslaved on the island were like Igbo, and so you can hear a lot of that on there. You can hear like soul music and soca and some some Afrobeat influence, some jazz, and it's all R&B still, like because I feel like it's very important to say that it's R&B, because people are not wanting to say something is R&B when it's R&B and it's anti-Black. It is because
I don't mean to laugh. It's serious.
Because like people think that R&B music is not intricate and not a complex genre of music anymore, which is absolutely insane, you know. But like dumbing down the complexities of R&B, we know why we're doing that. So like I also feel like it's very important to say that it's an R&B album with a lot of references to the diaspora, and there's a lot of different emotions on the album. There's like humor. I like to keep it light sometimes. There's a lot of like introspection on the album. There's some anger on the album. There's a love on the album, and I hope that like people listen to it and leave feeling hopeful and feeling like they can go out and like get what they want out of life or try.
Straight. There's a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I feel like they're going to have a real journey with this album.
Yeah.
So what's the goal for the next 10 years, man, for the music career of Yaya Bey?
The next 10 years?
The next 10 years, the next decade.
I'm going to be so old. Okay.
Nah.
The next 10 years, what am I going to do? I'm going to find some time to rest. Because I've been putting out albums every year for like the past 5 or 6 years. So I am very tired. But I'm getting a lot better at music. So I know I'm not gonna stop because I really love writing and I'm getting better. So hopefully I just signed a new record deal and I owe them 3 albums. Well, I owe them 2 more albums. So at the very least, I'm going to make 2 more albums. And then I don't know.
I love the modesty though, Yaya. Like when I ask this question to so many artists, they be like, "I'm trying to win a Grammy. I'm trying to make so much money. I want to take over the world. I want to perform in a 100,000 stadium and all this kind of thing." And I just love what you're telling me right now.
I mean, because I think when my dad was a musician, my dad had a music career, and from that I learned like there's ups, there's downs. Nothing is forever, or nothing is forever in the same way, you know. I hope to have some growth. I think I will, you know, but it's not up to me like what that growth will look like. So I'm more so like training myself to be at peace with whatever is for me. And then also like I really enjoy my personal life, and when I feel disconnected from my personal life, which doing this like does, it makes me depressed. And I just got a garden plot.
Okay, so that's something that we'll focus on.
Yeah, I mean, because I want to own a farm. Like, I want a little farm. So I'm volunteering at this farm, and I'm like, I almost didn't make it, because the farm that I work on, they have like a water irrigation thing, and I couldn't get anything planted because I was like working all the time, and they hit me up like, "Girl, if you don't put something in the ground, we turning your water off."
Wow.
And so the day I flew here, I had to go plant. We planted tomatoes, cucumbers, and peppers. I couldn't like plant everything because I have 18 slots. So I didn't get it all done, but I got enough that they didn't turn my water off, because I was like, I'm not coming back from Europe and you done turned my water off. So I hope to like
put some time in,
be a well-rounded person. I don't want to put everything in this. I mean, because I would write songs for free. I would, you know, like I've wrote songs for free my whole life. So I think like God is gonna give me whatever I'm supposed to have from this, and I'm gonna keep writing music probably till I'm old, but it's not all I'm gonna be.
Listen, it's been a great conversation. They say my interviews are hotter. SK Vibemaker and Yaya Bey. How about that?
SK Vibemaker.